I'm Elizabeth Spavento. I'm a curator and visual arts programmer here at Space, and helped organize the show, which is really just a combination of symbols and doesn't really have a verbal expression.
We can't even say it.
Well, in some interpretations it might be plus, minus, or positive, negative, or like some sort of symbol for spark or things like that. So I think it's interesting. This is the first time I've had to like talk about the show. So how do you talk about something that doesn't really, that has a name or like has more of an intuitive sense than it does like an actual category or descriptor?
It's like the artist formerly known as Prince.
Exactly. The exhibition, no, I don't know, symbolically known as plus, minus.
Cool.
And I'm Alia, and I'm the artist that was invited also by Elizabeth, who also runs the artist residency here.
So how did you arrive
I came
here?
to First Friday
Uh-huh.
about a year ago, or more, a year and a half ago, and I applied, and I don't think I would have been ready then. It's so interesting how things happen for a reason. And Liz contacted me when I was doing this last project, Borderland, and I was traveling, and she said, you know what, I really connected to your work. Now I am.
So how did you become interested in borders? What was there some aspect of your life that you moved around a lot?
It's always been a part of my, I mean, in one sense, moving around. I think a lot of people have, especially now in this day and age, a lot of people have moved around or live elsewhere that's not their native country, whether by choice or by not. And especially now, it's a very relevant issue with
Right.
refugees and immigrants, also in a country that's built on immigrants, but then who's from away.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even here in Portland, the use of lighting with these particular pieces, like how that black and white just is so vibrant in that setting,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you.
And then this one, just where the person who's wrapped is totally disappears until you move past it, right? You need the three-dimensional, like walking past it, and then it emerges out of this space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really wonderful.
There's so much of these that sort of really play with that sense of depth, right? And I think that again, goes back to this conversation we were having about borders and the title and these elements of duality where you're never really quite sure if it's two-dimensional or three-dimensional, if they're in the background or the foreground. And sometimes, depending on where you are and how you approach the piece, it might look like they're actually coming out of the frame or in the frame.
Yeah, yeah.
So there are all these really interesting things that happen, not only just looking at the work, but through your physical relationship to it, you know, that in looking at it in of itself becomes a bit of a performance. So everything that's not black and white are textiles that Alia had purchased in Uzbekistan during a period of time when she was traveling all over the world. And so these prints are actually based on an Uzbekistan pattern, but printed in China, so they're a little bit tweaked.
I believe that the beginning of the work really is the opening, and then on. It's when the show is on, because all of that is this sort of pre-production, right?
Uh-huh.
You're thinking about it. You have this intimate relationship with one person, talking about these ideas, trying to figure it out, and all the people who helped put the work up as well. But then it's also the reactions, and it's interesting that through the reactions you can look at one image, and 4 different people will have really different reactions to it. Even sometimes fear, anger, happiness reminds them of something, and that teaches me, because it teaches me through a different perspective and through a different eye, basically, and it tends to feed me to, kind of lead me to what I'm going to do